Hi everybody, this is Anne. I just wanted to show you Adobe Connect so that you can see kind of how it's laid out and what kind of tools are available through it. I have access to Adobe as a graduate assistant and teacher at Central, and I have used it to connect with my students when I'm not on campus, as well as in my own online work with other students in groups. It's a great tool for online collaboration because it allows you to communicate in multiple ways and share files easily. It's just a great all-around tool. All right, so here's the general layout of Adobe Connect. You can see on your screen that there are multiple tools open within Adobe Connect. I have them open kind of at random on the screen, but you can select layouts that are more organized according to needs, like sharing, discussion, collaboration, or just random, like what I have set up right here. There are different kinds of pods you can open that do the contain the different tools that are within Adobe Connect, and they're all located underneath this tool on the toolbar. I have 8 pods open right now, and I'll go through each of them here in a moment. But you can open them one at a time or multiple ones at once, as I have here. You can hide them if you want and reopen them later during a meeting. It's very, very flexible. I'll just go through some of the pods that I have open. I'll start here with my attendees list. This is just a list of everybody who's involved in the Adobe Connect meeting. Will be the host, which in this case is me. I'm the creator. I've set this all up. If there were other people in the room, they would either be presenters or participants. Presenters are people who are kind of a step down from the host in terms of how much control they have over the various Adobe features. Presenters generally are there to present some kind of information, so they would have access to the different pods that would help them do that. Participants are those who are there to observe and to take in the information, so they have the least amount of power within Connect, and they have the least amount of control over anything within it. Above that, I have a text chat where you can see it's just a very typical text chat, but would be great for online class discussion or online group discussion. You can email yourself your chat history and so that you have a record of it. To the left of that are the notes pod. The Notes pod is just a nice resource for teachers who maybe want to put notes up for their students, or for groups. If you're doing group collaboration, you could take notes for yourself for the group and store them there. And you can also export them as an RTF or email them for your records. To the left of that is probably my favorite, which is the Share My Screen pod. This is just a great resource for sharing your screen, sharing a view of a document like a Word document or a JPEG. I'll open this one up here for just an example. You can see a document that you can view that's on my computer. And then also a whiteboard that can be shared, where you can use these different tools up here to draw on the board or add text. Let's see here. And anybody that is given access can draw on the whiteboard. This is just my favorite pod, I think, within Adobe Connect, because it really makes everything feel very face-to-face. It brings everybody closer together, even though they're working at a distance. I love the Share My Screen feature because it helps me connect with my students and show them things at a distance that I would show them if I was there with them face-to-face, so that they have not only my written instruction or verbal instruction, but they can actually see what I'm showing them how to do as well. Right, and below the Share My Screen pod, we have 2 pods that would be great for teachers. The poll pod on the left and the Q&A pod on the right. The poll pod is basically an instant poll that you can give to students in class, or in a face-to-face session, or in a distance session. You set up your poll, you open it up, and then they can go in and vote and see the results of their polls live, which is really a nice feature and could be great for class discussion. And you can see who voted and how they voted. The Q&A would be great for class discussions because you can set up a question and then assign it to somebody in the room, and then they would then go on to answer it. But just great for organization and for online discussion. To the right of that, we have the video pod. I'll go ahead and start that up. Hello, there I am. Video can be shared by just the host or by anybody they give permission to online in Adobe Connect. It's just a really nice way to get a face-to-face feeling in online discussions. And last but not least, we have the file sharing pod, which is down here on the right. This is just a great resource because it allows you to share documents within Connect so that if you're having, let's say, a group online discussion, you don't have to go out into your email to share a file. You can actually share it within Connect and keep everything in one place. And I think to summarize, that actually really summarizes what's so great about Adobe Connect. It gives you so many different tools, video chat, voice chat, file sharing, the ability to set up polls and different questions and answers. All of these things are in one place. It's a very seamless tool, and it's pretty easy to use. And so I encourage you, if you have access to it, to take a look at it because it's a great resource both for instructors but also for students who are working at a distance to use it as a way to communicate with their fellow group mates. Thank you. I hope you've learned a little bit from this video about Adobe Connect.